Good morning, good morning. You listen to another episode of Let's Talk Sports with Tim McCain. And there's some big boxing news potentially. Sergey Kovalev could be fighting Canelo Alvarez. Now, when I first thought of it, I was like, yo, why would Canelo want to fight Sergey Kovalev? Sergey Kovalev, formerly known as the Crusher. Still known as the Crusher to some, but not the same since, the battles with Andre Ward. But definitely is he's definitely still formidable. When I was like, yo, like Canelo wants all the smoke. But then I looked at his age. Kovalev's 36 years old. 36. And so for me, I'm like, well, you know what? Canelo Alvarez still in the prime of his career, still top 5 boxers in the world. Can't give him number 1 yet. Some more fighters. He definitely is in the conversation. Canelo has definitely bounced back since the contaminated meat situation. He's definitely bounced back. You got to respect that man's hustle. That man is a lot like Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya back in the day had that same cloth. They come from the same cloth because Oscar wanted all the smoke. Oscar would fight anybody. He'd move up in weight. He'd do this. He fight bigger guys, smaller guys. That's just who Oscar was. Oscar was a guy who didn't care about losing that O. Nowadays boxers, it's the Floyd Mayweather model. Not everybody's gonna be Floyd Mayweather. Not everybody's gonna be that defensive guy who can just stop you from hitting him. You know what I mean? And also you have to look at it. Floyd was smart. You know what I mean? He would fight guys who were either past their prime or a little bit before their prime, but he would beat them, and then he would make sure he separated from Top Rank to make his own. So the whole thing about Floyd Mayweather is just different. Not everybody's gonna follow that format, and I feel like Canelo's of that same cloth. He don't care about losing that. He just wants that victory. And now we're seeing a lot of fighters who are now saying, we don't care about the we just want to make the best fights possible. We got, even though I will say this with Anthony Joshua, I feel like people are kind of putting him in that Floyd Mayweather mode where they're saying, well, maybe he was overrated. We don't know how overrated Anthony Joshua is until he fights his next fights, like a rematch with Andy Ruiz Jr., a fight with Deontay Wilder, a matchup with Tyson Fury. And actually it's interesting because Tyson Fury is going to face Big Baby Miller, who actually was supposed to fight Anthony Joshua if he hadn't been taking steroids and PEDs. So it's definitely, there's a lot of boxing news. There's a lot of boxing topics to talk about for real. And I just love it because it's like boxing is making a comeback. You got Canelo to face Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. Come on now. You got Andy Ruiz Jr. coming up, the first Mexican-American boxer to win the heavyweight champion of the world. There's so many boxing news. And the Sergey Kovalev, Canelo Alvarez is just one of them. It's going to be a good fight. I do expect Canelo to win only because Sergey Kovalev is 36 years old. If Sergey Kovalev was 30 years old and Canelo was moving up in weight to fight him at 175, then I'm like, yo, that's going to be a real challenge for Canelo. And it still will be because, hey, look, he's a boxer for a reason. Like, even Triple G was older in age when he fought Canelo, and it still was a great fight. So, we live in a time and era where age doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad fighter, because Floyd Mayweather fought till he was 40, 41 years old, and he was still whooping people's behinds. So age is no longer the same. It's crazy because back in the day, boxing was really a young man's game, and Floyd kind of made it an older man's game, and maybe that has a lot to do with science and technology and health. But I still would pick Canelo because I do believe overall Canelo is the better fighter. But I do believe that if Sergey was a little bit younger, it would be a lot tougher because he would be known as the Crusher. He's big, he's strong, he's powerful, he's got knockout power. So it definitely would be interesting to see. But I'm picking Canelo to win that fight. I'm picking Tyson Fury to beat Big Baby Miller because Big Baby, he's a good fighter, but Tyson Fury, there's only one Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, man, he's that dude. Deontay Wilder, he's also, there's a lot going on in boxing, man. So, but yeah, I'm picking Tyson Fury to beat Big Baby Miller. And if Canelo were to fight Sergey Kovalev, Canelo's winning in 12 rounds. 12 rounds, majority decision. That's all for Let's Talk Sports with Tim McCain. Y'all have a good one.